something we hope
Sorry,
you'll
I'm late,
really
Tony.
like.
Yeah, I was actually waiting around for you for a while.
Yeah, I made medical history.
Go on.
The ER said that they've never seen anybody slip in a shower and completely lose a shampoo bottle. That's not recording, is it?
Welcome to another edition of Sweet Nothings Podcast with your hosts, Tony and Freddie.
Hello, everybody. A new episode of Sweet Nothings Podcast with Tony and Freddie. Hello, I'm Tony.
And I'm Freddie.
Where are you from, Freddie?
Leary, Ohio. I'm glad you brought that up, Tony.
I just want to, make sure people don't forget.
Yeah.
Especially if we do get a new listener.
Yeah.
One, and then we'll have like 8 total.
Yeah. Have you seen this? Did I... Stop me if I already asked you this. Have you seen that movie Uncle Nick?
Yeah, that's the Cleveland movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're the one that suggested it to me, but I don't think we ever talked about it from there.
I just had this surreal feeling because they kind of make fun of people podcasting, and it's just two dudes alone in a room. And since you hit the record button, I'm like, oh shit, that's us.
That's us.
Yeah, this is kind of pathetic, but also kind of awesome.
And super fun to do.
Yeah, super fun to do.
Yeah.
They also make fun of home-based screen printers.
Yeah, which...
Yeah, don't watch this movie. Fuck that movie, huh? I changed my mind.
Dude, it was weird. It was a good movie. It's like a dark Christmas comedy.
Yeah.
It was good though, and it was very cool with the whole baseball shit that they were like doing, like the old
Yeah.
I forget what game that
It
was.
was 10-cent beer night that they related to like a family erupting on Christmas.
Right. Yeah, and it's all based in Cleveland.
Yeah, it takes place in Lakewood.
Yeah, and so there's like all these like shit like visuals like around Lakewood and stuff. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think around last Christmas time, I think, is when I watched it.
I think it came out then, or it was released in Netflix then.
Right, yeah, that's why I saw Netflix.
I just watched it the other day. I'm trying to get in the holiday spirit. I'm a holiday sensation.
I watched Bad Santa recently, and that's like my all-time favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah?
It's just so fucking funny.
Have you seen Bad Santa 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, like, the first one's just untouchable.
It is.
So that's my normal go-to Christmas movie.
There's more people getting hit in the nuts in the first one.
Yeah. And I've had this discussion, too, sometimes with people that, like, oh, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And then you get people like, Die Hard. And you're like, oh, yeah, that is a Christmas movie. Which then starts making you think of other movies like Gremlins or Lethal Weapon.
Oh.
And those are technically Christmas movies.
Now, this is a controversial statement. I hate Die Hard.
Okay.
People... And I've said this, and fights have broken out, but I don't like Die Hard at all.
I don't hate them.
Yeah, you're just not one of those people that's in love with it. It seems like people are ecstatic about Die Hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just like,
fuck those
Die Hard
people.
fans
Yeah.
for Die Hard, no pun intended. Or yeah, that was intended, I guess. But yeah, like if those movies are just whatever, like they're good, but like I watched them once. And I only watched like the first couple. Like I know they came out with like another 2 or so over the last handful of years, and I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
Die Hard or Cry Trying or whatever it is.
Oh no, really?
Something like that.
Ugh.
Die Trying? I don't know. Something like that.
I can't
Cry
do it.
Trying sounds funnier though.
Do you have besides Bad Santa? Do you have another Christmas movie?
Let's see. That's the normal go-to. Let's see. Christmas Vacation's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's hard not to watch that. Huh?
Right. My mom watches it literally every day from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas.
Jesus Christ.
She's obsessed with that movie. Like they quote lines from the movie all the time, and like I've bought my mom. That's not a real word. I bought. I'm not 100% right now.
I was gonna let you slide.
I'm not 100%. But I bought my mom those moose head like glasses that they're drinking in the movie.
Yeah.
I got her like a couple little ones and like
eggnog cups.
Yeah, and like one big one for her to use, and she
loves it.
Oh yeah, she like died. She's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good one, but I can't watch it more than once in the holidays.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Oh,
Arnold
you like
Schwarzenegger
that?
with the Turbo Man.
Do you really watch? Would you sit down and watch it?
I just watched it
Oh, Tony.
like 2 weeks ago, or maybe like a week ago.
Tony, I've said this about your movie tastes. You act like you're gonna live forever. You don't care about your time on this earth.
I am going to live forever.
You're taking this time on this earth for granted.
All right, fine. Fucking sitting on your cloud of judgment, handing down life lessons.
This is where I eat it, huh?
Yeah, what's your Christmas movies?
Oh, well, I spent so many years hating the holidays that, like Christmas music to me is
fucking terrible.
It's terrible. Christmas movies to me are terrible too. But if I'm, it's the standard ones, like you said, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone. I'll watch those once.
Yeah.
But like Christmas, like I do, like for whatever reason, I listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan in Christmas time.
Sure.
I listen, and now I've leaned into my hatred of Christmas, so that I've come out the other side that I'll make fun of it so much that now I'm a part of it. So
fucked yourself, Freddie.
So now I'm like mocking it, but I'm also enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm a holiday sensation. Or now, like, I hate the Christmas tree, but it's up and I turn it on at a special time and I play a Christmas song and like I'll fake do like the Pledge of Allegiance because it's hilarious because I'm making such a big production of this thing that I don't like.
Is anybody around when you do this?
No.
You're living like you're not going to live forever.
I know I'm not. I go to sleep every night praying not to wake up, Tony.
I'm also like not a fan of Christmas time. It's just too fucking chaotic.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's fucking shitting themselves trying to find presents for people. Like, I enjoy buying things for people. I'll do it throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'd rather do that too.
Yeah, and I see something, I'm like, oh man, you know what? Freddie would really love this.
Yeah.
And I'll pick it up, and then when we hang out, I'm like, hey buddy, like I got this for you. I saw it and thought of you. You know, I do that for people.
This is
all
a
the
pro
time.
tip, Tony. Do this. Just take a picture of it, send it to them, and be like, "This is what I would buy you."
I thought of you and I saw this. I'm not gonna buy it for you, but I just thought of you.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, just the whole fucking presents and all this shit. It's just a nuisance.
Yeah.
You know, and if it wasn't for that, like, I don't know. And people call me a Grinch, and that's fine.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I really am a Grinch, but I think you should take my suggestion and lean into it so hard that you come out the other end.
No, because that's not. You're giving in. Like,
You're not giving in.
I don't want to. I don't want to put up a
I'm
Christmas
making a
tree.
mockery of it.
I don't want to put up a Christmas tree. I don't want to.
I'm gonna get you a little red floppy
Christmas
hat.
songs.
I'm gonna get you a little red floppy hat with a little bell on the end.
And you know, and as far as Christmas songs goes, there's only like 7 actual Christmas songs. They're just redone 6 billion times by, you know, a bunch of different people. You know, and then there's, you know, like even like fucking Mariah Carey has that "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Some asshole came in the bar like in October and played that fucking song. They played it in Spanish, they played it in German, they played it in some other language, and then they played the real version. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kick.
I kind of like that person.
No, they could
There's
fuck off.
something funny
I was
about
ready to
that.
fucking kick their teeth in.
My buddy Andy, every time he leaves a bar, he plays "What's New Pussycat" 15 times.
Yeah, and
he's that guy.
Yeah, and I've done it. Like I'd put on like Du Hast or Gay Bar, or you know, play it a bunch of times in a row. But like when I'm stuck there, and you know, I have the option, I can just fucking skip it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I have a remote for the jukebox, but like I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. You know, but if it gets to a certain point, I'm just gonna fucking skip it, and then when whoever comes up and bitches and goes, "Hey man, I put my money in there," and I'd be like, "Well, here's your $1, fucko, get the fuck out."
Yeah.
So Fairy Tale of New York is like,
we talked about this week.
Okay, yeah, and that's like the best fucking Christmas
Yeah.
song. Like the original was in like '88. It's like an old Irish Christmas song. You know, it was covered by No Use for a Name, like when we were growing up.
I saw Coldplay cover it.
Yeah, and that's a fucking
Before
cool ass
Coldplay
song.
was big.
Yeah. And a lot of people have never even heard of that song.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
The Pogues have like some really great songs. Have you seen what's his name, Gavin McGowan? What's his name, Gavin McGowan or what? Have you seen him now?
No, I mean Gavin Rossdale?
No.
Gavin
the
McGowan?
Pogues.
From the what?
His last name is McGowan. From the Pogues?
The Pogues. No, I don't know that.
That's who sings that song?
The original one?
Fairy Tale in New York?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, doesn't he looks kind of like Robert Smith a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's lived fast, dude. He's not doing well. Not a tooth in his head. Actually, I think he just got like some new teeth, but he was out there playing shows, not a single tooth in his head.
Ugh.
But the Pogues, like, they kind of got big again because they had that song on The Wire.
Which I still haven't watched. People told me to watch it.
Yeah, every time a cop died, they acted like the cops would go into this cop bar and listen to this Pogues song. So this is ridiculous. But I like the Pogues. They're like the original punk band.
Mm-hmm.
They're the original Irish punk band, you know?
Right. So, and that's, I don't know. That's, I guess, my whole thing on Christmas music. And, you know, what really ruined it for me is working in retail when I was younger.
Oh, man, I can't imagine.
And so you're just literally listening to the same 7 Christmas songs all fucking day, over and over. Some by Frank Sinatra, some by Dean Martin, some by fucking Mariah Carey, and some by Selena Gomez. I don't know, like Hilary Duff. It's fucking exhausting.
There's one John Lennon one I like. Besides that, it really is unlistenable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep it so far away from me because I'm a Grinch that, like, when I do hear it on Christmas, I'm like, oh, that's not, you know, I don't have to stab my ears out.
Right.
I just hear it once and go on.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, they're catchy too, you know. So like after you hear it, you're like, God damn, this fucking song. And then after you start catching yourself like whistling, you know, like or like humming the Christmas song, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, they got me.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
I hope no one's around to watch me do this.
Yeah.
It's ruined my reputation.
Yeah. I like Friday After Next. It's kind of Christmassy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's when they're in the motel and they get robbed by that Santa.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
The ghetto Santa that breaks in and steals your presents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that time's creeping up on us.
Quick, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's really no other Christmas songs that I'll play. Oh, I like I don't like the Peanuts soundtrack, like the Charlie Brown Christmas anymore.
Oh yeah.
But it's Vince Gilardi Trio.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to that, and it has all those songs in it, but it's just like the classical piano.
Right, and that stuff, and that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's just, you know, what would you do if you had people that like Christmas carolers that would come to your door?
I would entertain them because I'd feel bad. They're standing out in the cold.
Right.
But
at the same, and then you're also standing there in the doorway and you're cold, and you're like, it's not like it's like in the movies where like your husband comes over and like hands you a cup of coffee and like throws a little blanket over your shoulders, and you just kind of curl into it while you're holding your coffee mug.
You drink hot chocolate with 2 hands.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And then he puts his arm around you.
Yeah, that's not how that would work in my world.
I'd be standing in the door. I'm like, okay, they got one song done. I'm freezing.
Yeah,
thanks.
one song done. I'd just be like, start clapping.
Yeah.
You guys did it.
Yeah.
Be safe out there.
Congratulations. Stay warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be a fucking asshole.
No, it would be really hard to be an asshole. But that would be my one time I hear Christmas songs, I'd be like, done for the year.
Yep, that's it.
We did it.
Yep.
I wonder if like you had kids, like you'll feel different about it. You know what I mean?
I think so. You know, like the thing is that like
all these things are geared towards kids because that's what you spend your money on.
Right. And
so
like,
it'd be fun then.
Yeah, like every Christmas, like Christmas Eve, I always go and stay at my parents' house.
You do still?
Yeah, I still go there and I sleep over like Christmas Eve. That way, in the morning, I wake up and I'm there for like the kids to open up their Christmas presents. I mean, they're now like 14 and 15, so they're getting older, but it's still, you know, that's what they've always known, you know, like so like even as they become into their 20s and stuff, like essentially once they move out, I think that it's either going to come down to we're all just going to be going to my mom's house and sleeping over because that's what I think she really loves, you know, and then we all wake up, as opposed to most people, they just like wake up and then they go to their parents' house, and then, you know, if you're with like your other, it's what I'm saying. If you're with your other, then you have to make a couple stops You know.
If like, there's so many things that look like they're fun around Christmas if you have a kid, but to me, I'm just like, really?
Yeah, I think if I have kids, I think I'll probably enjoy Christmas more. Mm-hmm. You know, it would be fun to like us decorating the tree together, like that stuff.
Yeah,
that seems more fun when you have kids.
I have nieces and nephews, and it's like that. You know, that's the best part of Christmas.
Right? Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
You know what I wish they would happen was like it was Thanksgiving, and then you had like then you had Christmas in February. No, you had Christmas in the end of December, which is already there.
Right.
I just need more of a gap in between these 3 holidays.
So you'd rather have them
because especially in Ohio, it's like barely winter yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like Christmas. I want like Christmas in like February. Give me New Year's in March. Like we gotta space this out. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
See, you're right. Like
because
having
it's
them
a long stretch from New Year's to April when it's like warm out again. You know?
So there's nothing going on in those next couple. Well, you have St. Patty's Day, which I look forward to St. Patty's Day. That's my kind of holiday.
That's true.
You know.
I don't know. It just seems like it's like bam, bam, bam. 5 days, 6 days after Christmas, you got New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of, how was your Thanksgiving?
That is uneventful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours?
Same. But that's what I like. Yeah. Like when I was just my ma, stepdad, and the 2 young siblings. I think like an aunt and uncle came over for a little bit too. But that's it. There's no fucking chaos
eat any good food?
Oh yeah, Mom always makes delicious food. So she's got like the turkeys and
stuff.
Potatoes and stuff. And like, I'm obsessed with her mashed potatoes. Like, I don't need anything on them; they just taste fucking awesome. And she's like, "You try the turkey gravy?" And I go, "Why?" She's like, "Because I made it." And I go, "Ma, I don't need any gravy for your mashed potatoes. You know this, and you know this, man." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I did put some on there, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it was just cool. Like, trying to take a nap was hard. And even like I was hanging out with like my little brother, and he's playing a video game, sitting next to him, and like I felt like my head like Bob, and he's like talking to me and like looks back and sees that I'm like falling asleep. I'm like, oh yeah, no, totally, yeah, I saw it. Like. So
Christmas is the same type. Do you do like a Christmas dinner too?
Yeah.
Big dinner.
Yeah, she'll usually like whip up like ham or something like that. Every once in a while, she'll get crazy and she's like, I'm just gonna make up a big lasagna for everybody. I'm like, fuck yes.
That's fun. You spend the whole day there?
Most of it. I'll go over at like 7 or 8 like on Christmas Eve, and then we usually hang out and drink and eat and whatever, and then the morning they open up presents, and then she makes like a huge breakfast, and then once dinner's over I'll hang out for a little bit after that, and then I'll head back.
Yeah. Do you on Christmas you just go home Christmas Day sometime?
No, I'll go over there Christmas Eve.
You go over there Christmas Eve, and then when do you go home?
Oh yeah, then I usually just come home. Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Day sometime.
Yeah. So like dinner. If she usually does early dinner, so like she'll have dinner like 4, so usually probably like around like 6 or so, then I come home.
I have a 2-hour expiration date at my parents' house. Like 2 hours, I'm like, that's good enough. We did it. Let's call that a holiday.
Got my Christmas carolers in, 1 song and done.
Yeah.
2 hours at the parents, done.
Yep. That's how I am.
Yeah.
That's how I am on Thanksgiving, too.
I wish I could be like that.
Like, I'll bring dishes and be like, I'll prepare it all at home and be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring it there. I always carve the turkey. And, I'm like, all right, let's get this cleaned up. All right, we'll play 1 game with the kids. You know what I mean? And then we're out the door.
Yeah.
But that's just, I'm antsy on Christmas. I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable at my parents' house. Like, I'm done. I
wish I could like do that. Like my sister Ashley, they do that. Like they come over at like some point in the day, they hang out, they hang out for like 2 hours, and then they leave and go to the next spot.
Does mom and dad buy you gifts?
Yeah, but it's more of like my mom just usually gets me like socks, underwear, toothbrush, stuff like that. And then she usually just gets me like a couple like things like, oh, we were talking about this, whatever. So this year I was like, I don't need any more socks and underwear. Like you give them to me every 5 or 6 months. I was like, just get me like an Amazon card.
Yeah.
I'm done. You know, like she's like, okay, easy. I'm like, I don't need to open up presents. You know, like that's for the kids.
Right.
You know. So and then I always order my mom this wine from New York, which she's like obsessed with. So
what's it called?
It's called Foxy Lady.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's got a cool like kind of pin-up-ish chick like on the cover.
Okay.
But it's super delicious. And so when I tasted it when I was out wine tasting in New York, I brought that bottle back and I order it for her like all the time. So
is that the so they ship it to you, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever ordered cigarettes on the internet?
No.
No? Me neither.
Are these also from India?
They're from Russia.
What? You're ordering Russian cigarettes?
Yeah, I get my medications from India, my cigarettes from Russia.
What do they taste like?
My cell phone's from South Korea.
Any taste difference?
There's not a single difference. No. I haven't done it in a while, but you buy it and it was like an eighth of the price. This is when I was broke. Okay. This might have been right before I moved into Bun's house.
Oh, okay. So that was the longest time.
But I had a long stretch where I was just smoking Russian cigarettes.
I can. Do they also have like the goofy ads like on them, like in Canada?
No, but it's written in Russian. It looks exactly like the Camel cigarettes, but they were Russian. I think like the colors were a little bit different. Same exact picture though.
Right. It's just all in Russian.
Yeah.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah, they were like you remember when cigarettes were like $2 a pack or whatever? You get like the 2 for $4 for Camels.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I smoked Camels. They were 2 for $4.
Yeah, I remember being 18 and going into Mark's and paying like $2.85 for a pack.
Yeah.
Now it's like almost $7.
They bumped it up.
Right.
I was like, fuck that. How can I do this? I just buy them on the internet.
Yeah, and everyone's like, man, these prices keep going up. I'm going to quit. No one quits.
The internet sells all sorts of cool things.
Yeah.
I'm on that dark web, Tony.
I just watched a documentary on that like a couple months ago.
Yeah. Have you seen
wild
any
shit on there?
Documentaries?
Yeah, actually, it's on Netflix. It's called Jim and Andy.
I saw that.
Dude, that was fucking good, right?
Yeah, it was a good. I just can't.
It was a good.
It was a good.
For those of you that are
I
listening,
slipped into Laka character from
Taxi.
Yeah, Taxi. It was a good. I hate Jim Carrey.
Okay, before we get into that, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Andy Kaufman was an old comedian. He's on the TV show Taxi. Jim Carrey did the movie about his life in 1990, I think, called Man on the Moon. Well,
it was later than that. I think it was like 98 or 99.
Oh, I thought it was like much earlier. Well, so like apparently all this behind the scene footage has been locked up in Jim Carrey's vaults for like the last 20 years.
'Cause it was a electronic press kit, they call it, EPK.
Yeah. And so essentially now he finally agreed to let the footage out to the public, and he also was being interviewed talking about him essentially becoming Andy Kaufman.
It's
and
him
then
looking back over this time.
Yeah, and him like all the shit he put people through. And another character that Andy Kaufman did was Tony Clifton, which was like an old drunkard, and it was like an asshole. And
you never knew if it was going to be him as Tony Clifton or his buddy, his writing partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a silent partner and everything. I thought was fascinating.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated by Andy Kaufman. I just want documentaries on Andy Kaufman all day long. What I don't want is Jim Carrey involved.
You don't like Jim Carrey at all?
No.
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber is an acceptable one, but that's it.
Truman Show?
Oh, Truman Show, and then what is the other one? There's one that
Eternal Sunshine?
Yeah, like I think that those are good movies, but I don't think that like if you replaced him, they'd be better movies.
I don't know.
Especially Truman Show or
dude. No, I don't think. Dude, like I love the Truman Show.
Yeah, me too.
And even like Ace Ventura.
No, that's the shittiest shit dick movie I've ever seen.
I mean, I'm just gonna mention The Mask just because.
Oh my god, Tony.
Dude, no, I love Jim Carrey. Always loved Jim Carrey.
Really?
Up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even
I didn't like him. I just don't. He's not my thing. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, that solidified it for me. You know what I mean? It
Right.
was just like,
So did you actually like this documentary though?
I liked the documentary, but like it made me dislike Jim Carrey even more. And like, I don't know. It's just because my fascination with Andy Kaufman. I thought there was parts of this documentary that were creepy. Mm-hmm. Like when he's got Andy Kaufman's family in there.
That was weird.
When
that
he's dressed up all sick like him, like
and they were coming in and all that. Yeah.
And what a blowhard he sounds like so often in that movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, come on.
Well, if you got to think about it too, whether Jim Carrey or not, that's a huge shoe to fill, to like playing that Andy Kaufman character, just because he was so wild, and all of his different characters he did, and like with the high pitched talking, from like Taxi, and doing like the Bongo Show, and then Tony Clifton, and it's just and then here she comes to save the day.
That's the best. That I don't know why. That just tickles me so much.
And that's a huge shoe to fill. I'm like, so that's a lot of pressure on Jim Carrey. So I would at least say give him that, for like.
Right, but to like channel him and live like him nonstop, like this method acting, I guess I don't understand. And
but a lot of people do it.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis is the biggest one.
Yeah,
but that's fine. Like I just don't. Like, I don't know. I think Daniel Day-Lewis would be as good of an actor if he didn't. You're playing pretend.
Yeah.
People act like acting is like this big, huge thing. And when you see good acting, you know it. And when you see bad acting, you know it. But, like, all you are is playing pretend at the end of the day.
Yeah, but when there's movies that are based on people that people have watched their whole lives or whatever the case may be, you need to. I think it's important to be that person,
right?
To like sell that role. Like Johnny Depp did it with Hunter S. Thompson,
which I think like you brought up a great point, which I feel like these guys that admire these people that they want to be. You know what I mean? Jim Carrey wants to be Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
So but he's his own person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Andy Kaufman wouldn't have taken Charlie Chaplin and pretended to be Charlie Chaplin this entire time because he's the original. Like, Andy Kaufman's the original. I think Hunter S. Thompson, you can't be Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
He's his own magic original being.
Right.
But I think that Johnny Depp is an original guy. He doesn't have an original thought in his head. I don't think Jim Carrey like has that original thought in his head. I think he did originally, and he lost it as soon as he got the big movies. When he cashed that $10 million check he wrote to himself.
Yeah.
Fuck you. This whole secret, I'm gonna write myself a check and blah blah blah. It makes me angry.
Well, what about Jamie Foxx doing Ray Charles? I mean, that's another one that was like that. I mean, I haven't seen Ray yet, but I've heard a lot of great things. It's on my list to watch.
You should see it. And like, I'm not a huge Jamie Foxx fan either, but I'm
not either.
There's a great video of him the first time he met Ray Charles, and he's playing the piano with Ray Charles, and Jamie Foxx is really a talented guy. Mm-hmm. And Ray Charles, like, at one point stops and just looks at him in, like, admiration. It was like, not looks at him. That's funny. But you see him sit back and, like, he, like, grabs his chin and he just, like, lets it sink in that this guy's playing the piano. Yeah. And it was like...
He actually impressed Ray.
So I think that's sweet. I think that you could play these people, especially, like, I think you can go downstairs and be Lockup for the next couple hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's pretty simple. Coming up with, like, these characters is the hard part. So now you're just doing the easy part. Also, I think, like, the reason why I feel that way so much about Jim and Andy, the documentary, is because, like, the way he was with Jerry Lawler, that wrestler, the way he was with Danny DeVito, people were like, I can't stand this. They were so tired of it.
Yeah, it's so exhausting.
They were like,
Can you imagine
Andy
being the
never
director?
did this. They were like, Andy never did this. They were like, Andy and I were, like, Jerry Lawler was like, Andy and I were friends as soon as the cameras were off. Yeah. And Jim Carrey's just going, like, full Andy. He's going more Andy than Andy
because
was.
the cameras were always on.
That's what I mean. Like, all of this felt contrived. It felt like he wanted to be, like, a bigger actor than he was.
And maybe, I don't know, like, sometimes you just get into a zone and then you're like, well, I'm too far in. Like, I can't stop now because I'm going to look like an asshole. Like, you're just like,
so
I just
really be a double asshole.
Just have to just go with it, you know?
Yeah.
And once it's all said and done, you know, then you make your apologies, you know, like more of like what's the expression, like rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those, you know, like, and I'm sure after everything's all said and done, like they're talking, it's like, listen, sorry, I was just kind of in this mindset and it just kind of kept going. I mean, he did say like, am I taking this too far? And he's like, well, Andy would just keep going with it, so I said fuck it and just kind of kept running with it.
Yeah, that's true. But Andy would keep going with his own characters that he's come up with.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Jim's just doing the Andy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. You're right. Yeah.
It just, like, and maybe it's just like a respect for Andy Kaufman, but I was like, and I was also thinking about it, like, I hope there's not a comedian that does this for Jim Carrey someday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could tell in his head that's all he wants is someday he'll die and then somebody's going to come along and pretend like they're him.
But I feel like Andy Kaufman's like life was much different than like Jim Carrey. You know, like Andy Kaufman was just doing, you know, like as you said, you know, like himself, like shit, like all the time. Where Jim Carrey, it's just movie. You don't really hear anything like about Jim Carrey besides the movie is coming out. I mean, as of recently, you do, because he's like losing his fucking shit, and then the girlfriend being murdered or whatever, committed suicide. I mean, and all that shit, and him fucking acting like a crazy person.
That's why I also think like
so there wouldn't be any point of making a movie, you know. Like,
if we saw all this footage when it happened, instead of it sitting in a vault, because now he's looking back on it in hindsight, and I think he like. Back then, you could tell it was just somebody who wanted, like, some legit acting accolades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he
just wanted to be praised.
He was 20 years younger.
He already had all the money in the world. He wanted to be praised.
Yeah, and it's just like when you're, you know, it's a different mindset when you're 20 years younger, you know? Like, think about even just for us, just like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, in our early 20s. Like, that's a different mindset than where we're at now. So back then, he's, you know, way goofier and just wants to be doing shenanigans all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so at the time, it was probably a lot of fun to be doing, you know?
Right.
And now he's older and, you know, he's like, yeah, I was kind of a dick. You know, like...
What I want to say is, oh, really? Why weren't you a pet detective off the set during Pet Detective? You know, Jim Carrey?
Right.
Why is this the only movie you had to do this with, huh?
Yeah. I get what... I mean... It's just because of the shit that Andy Kaufman was doing off camera.
Yeah.
He was just always in that character, like all the time. And then when he dressed up as Tony Clifton, you know, he's going around fucking with people. You know, that was just his way of life. Like he just, like, okay, well, now today I feel like dressing up as Tony Clifton, put a paper bag over my head and have booze with me and crashing cars and whatever the case, just going and yelling at people.
You're just reliving his life.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. As opposed to Jim Carrey, as you said, off the camera, he's not. He's like, okay, we're done. Shooting's done. Time to go home.
Right.
You know.
I have you ever seen? You brought up a great one with Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson, because there's nobody I love more than Hunter S. Thompson. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the Inside the Actor's Studio with him?
No.
Oh man, it just makes me want to puke. It drives me crazy. He rolls his own cigarettes up there and smokes constantly. Looks like goddamn Keith Richards. Dressed up with feathers hanging all over.
Oh, yeah.
Little sunglasses. Just come on. And then you're talking about like this thing that you do where you just play pretend. All you do is play pretend. Don't make it sound like it's something bigger than it is. You know, and I like a lot of his movies. Like, there's so many of his movies that were great.
Yeah.
But
so what did you think of Fear and Loathing or Rum Diaries?
I liked, and what's the other one? With what's his name? Groundhog Day guy.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Where the Buffalo.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing about Hunter S. Thompson I don't like, so I'm gonna like him. And I love Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I just think like that you played a part of somebody that you wish you were so much that you're now you're biting their style.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he wants to be that interesting. He wants to be that prolific.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. No, you dress up like a pirate. You do 17 movies.
Right.
And you make billions of dollars.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, but he's got a lot of good fucking movies. I mean,
Yeah.
not like the Pirates of the Caribbean, but like, you know,
Right.
there's a lot of great fucking movies he's done. Speaking of, with Johnny Depp, when he did Blow, that dude just passed away like a couple weeks ago. Did you know that?
What dude?
The guy, like, whoever's the original person from the movie
yeah.
Blow,
Yeah.
like, he just got out of prison, I think, earlier this year, maybe a couple months ago.
I think I saw that.
And then
yeah.
he died like just like a couple weeks ago. Like, man, that fucking sucks. You're like, I'm still alive and I'm out of prison, and then you die a couple weeks
Yeah.
later. Like, that sucks.
I watched Blow like a year or two ago again, you know, because I think I liked it when it came out.
Yeah.
And I've outgrown those like drug movies.
Mhm.
They all seem like they're too much alike.
Yeah, and I like a lot of those I can't really get into. Like, Blow is a great movie, and like Fear and Loathing's great too. But like when there's those kinds of movies, I can't really get into them. Like, cause I'm just not like a drug person.
Oh, I'm
So,
a drug
like-
person. Don't get me wrong.
So like I can't.
I'll tell you what country I buy those from. No, I like Fear and Loathing is like like the drugs aren't even the most interesting thing about Hunter S. Thompson for me. It's like just his writing. That there's another 2-part documentary on Rolling Stone, the early days of Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
That is super fascinating.
Okay.
And they talk a lot about Hunter S. Thompson because he's a journalist for Rolling Stone.
Right.
It's really great.
I'm sure there's probably a lot of great stories.
Yeah, and he's a lot like Andy Kaufman, in which he played by his own rules.
Yeah.
Like Rolling Stone would show up wherever he was holed up, and bring him booze and bring him whatever he wants, and just like finish the story, would you?
Yeah.
And he eventually would. He never met a deadline. He did exactly what he wanted
Yeah.
to. Even his style of journalism, like that gonzo journalism, where the story is completely biased.
Right.
It's all original. It's not what you want from a journalist, but it's what you want from a storyteller.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he's a great storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think the first book I read of his was what got me so hooked was when he infiltrated the Hell's Angels, because this was before anybody else did.
That's right. I forget what that's called. Someone told me to read that, and I forgot all
I
about
think
it.
it's just called Hell's Angels. or
Okay.
something
Yeah.
that.
Like, I wanted to read that, and I forgot all about it.
Yeah, and he had death threats on him for a long time.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
he-
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't recreate a person that's willing to do that.
Yeah.
He I think in like Johnny Depp is like, I don't know, it's just gross. And I feel the same like that. You hit it on the head with that's how I feel about Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman too.
Mhm.
Also, I didn't like about that was when REM was like, we wanted him to be in the music video, and he was like, I can't be Andy anymore. And you're like, come on, dude.
Yeah, dude. After
You
all
could
of
be
that,
Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a shitty thing.
Yeah. I was like, come on.
Did you ever watch the TV show The Last? I don't know, it was The Last 24, I think, or The Last 48, and it was on Netflix. And they're mini episodes, but they do on celebrities, like the last 48 hours of their life.
I saw a couple of them.
But there's one of those is Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
And so, like, I remember watching that, and like of him being like in his cabin with the family, and
Yeah.
him being all depressed, and then when they were all out, and him fucking shooting his face
Yeah.
off. But like they have like ones for like Jimi Hendrix and John Belushi and stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, Hunter, fuck yeah, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched that at all.
I did, yeah. I mean, Hunter S. Thompson is like, he lived everything that, he was exactly what he said he was. You know what I mean?
Right.
He made no bones about it. He's like, I'm an asshole. I'm a crazy person.
Right.
And he'd just be out in the desert, taking crazy
drugs,
drugs
yeah.
and shooting guns. Not in the desert. He's out in Colorado, but.
Still.
And I think like it's cool, like I like when Johnny Depp does his voice for things, the voiceover work for his writing.
Mm-hmm.
I still like that, but Johnny Depp paid for like his funeral. He had like a cannon constructed, and they shot his ashes out
Yeah.
over his property. I'm like, all right, that's what he would have wanted.
Yeah.
But I can't stand Johnny Depp.
I mean, it kind of goes. I mean, you could say that about any actor,
Yeah, probably. I mean, it depends, I guess. Yeah, there's a
mean-
lot that are insufferable because they're playing pretend for a living.
But that's their thing. But they're. I mean, all right. It's playing pretend, but they're also telling a story. for your viewing pleasure. Some are good, some are bad. You know, but we need that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, whether you're gonna fucking diss on whoever, but you're gonna be like, I fucking hate the person, but they make great movies. You know, like I mean, for me, you know, like Tom Cruise, fucking hate Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You know, people tell me he makes great movies. I've seen a bunch of them, and some of them are good. I'm like, I don't really give a fuck about Tom Cruise. I don't really like the dude. You know, I'm like, when a new movie comes out, it's like, oh, you gotta see this Tom Cruise movie. I'm just like, no, fuck you. You know, I think I watched that one where he keeps dying over and over. Did you watch that one?
I don't
where he's
remember.
like in like some like military or whatever, and then like, it's not Goodbye Girl. I think that's Ben Affleck. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. It had like 2 different titles, but like Tom Cruise kept dying. Or like every time he was about to die, or like this, or the girl was about to die. I don't remember. That was a pretty cool movie. But other than that, like I don't really give a shit about Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't care about Tom Cruise either. There's, you know, when it comes to like those mainstream actors of that time, like there's a few, like, I think directors do the work. I think a good director does the work.
100%. Yeah.
And it's as I get older and more mature, I think that means more to a movie than anything else. I remember wondering, like, people talking about who directed what when I was younger, and I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh, I want to find out who did this and why.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another funny thing, that Man on the Moon movie was kind of a flop. I remember really wanting to like it because I liked Andy Kaufman so much, and it's kind of a flop. And that's that dude has like a litany of great movies up until then.
Yeah.
And then Man on the Moon came out, and then it didn't work again.
Well, he's probably fucking Jim Carrey fucking drove him crazy.
Yeah, that one part
he's
where
like, please, Jim, he's like, I'll tell
phone.
Jim. And I call him on the phone later. Yeah.
He's like, I just want to talk to Jim.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's just exhausted.
Yeah. I can imagine, like, being that dude. Like, I would be like, I can't wait till this fucking project's over.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're, like, all talking about him, you know, like, why? Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Like, take 5 minutes, be Jim, let's discuss a game plan, then you can go back to your shenanigans.
Right.
But he just wouldn't. He wouldn't cut character.
No.
Which, I mean, I guess is a good thing. I mean, it's dedication, I guess. If you're going to commit, you know?
Another scene I hated was when he went as Tony Clifton to the Comedy Store.
Oh.
And was like, he was getting the applause. He was getting Andy Kaufman's applause.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You quit being a comedian a long time ago. You quit being a comedian when you were throwing yourself on the stage. You know what I mean? That's what was funny about you. Now you're just you're taking his applause. You're taking all the love people have for Andy Kaufman, and you're absorbing it all. But your head's just getting bigger and bigger.
And think of it this way: it's people that were friends with them, you know, that get to like kind of be around him one more time, you know, and like with the family, like that is kind of weird, you know, but for them, it's like my son's been dead for so long. It's just kind of nice just to kind of see. It is fucked up, but people, that's how people are.
I wonder, like, I think there's a lot of magic to editing in that.
Perhaps.
I can't imagine they would be like, I can see them like, there was the one brother like found it amusing and was laughing at it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that's believable. But when they're like, I want to spend some time alone with him.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. That's not that's so far from reality.
That's weird.
Can you imagine that you die and then, like, you know, 20, like 30 years later, Timmy shows up dressed like you.
Yeah.
And then goes over to your parents' house and is going to, you know, he's over there at Christmas. He's eating mashed potatoes, takes a nap.
That would be weird.
That would be weird.
Oh, speaking of Timmy.
Or even not even Timmy, somebody that your mom never even knew.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would actually
That would be twice as weird.
Yeah, because they didn't actually know Jim Carrey, so that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. With Timmy, so the last time we recorded was when we did the Spicy Ramen Challenge. Forgot to tell you this. That's okay, we can do it now. But, you know, the night before we recorded and did the challenge, I was telling Garrett about it. I'm like, yo, we're going to do this Spicy Ramen Challenge. And he's looking at the packaging, and he's like, this is pussy shit, dude. He's like, I eat hot stuff all the time. Yeah. He's like, the SKU level or SCO level, whatever the fuck it is only like it's like 8,800. So we start looking it up, and like a jalapeno at its hottest is like 10,000. So he's like, this is fucking dumb. He's like, I eat hot sauces that are hotter than this. I'm like, well, I don't know. We're going to check it out and see how it goes. And it was spicy, and it tasted good, you know. So the next day when I was actually editing that episode, I was downstairs, and Garrett comes downstairs to get food, and I go, yo, why don't you try one of those ramens? So he makes it up, and then he goes up into his room and whatever. And then just a little bit while he comes downstairs, he starts talking about something, and I start hearing the scraping sound. And I turn around and look, and I was like, are you fucking throwing that away? He's like, yeah. And I was like, you didn't finish it? He's like, no. He's like, it was fucking hot. And I was like,
really?
Are you fucking shitting me, dude? I was like, we fucking ate it. I was like, I didn't drink anything. Timmy didn't eat or drink anything. We ate the whole thing. I mean, God, fucking Timmy ate it in like 5 seconds, just hauled the whole thing down. But
I didn't think it was that hot either.
Yeah, and he didn't finish it.
I had a Mexican yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I had a hot sauce that was like twice that hot. I was sweating, and it was like, I don't know, that I didn't think that was that hot. I thought that was a bust.
No, like it wasn't extremely
But
hot, but it was
Garrison
like,
didn't
he didn't finish it. Yeah, he said, it's like, yeah, it's fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, unfucking believable.
That's crazy, yeah.
So, I don't know. That was, I forgot I wanted to tell you that. I mean, that was like a couple weeks ago, but something just clicked in when we were talking about Timmy.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this rating, though. This hot rating. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Well, yeah, it's like a SCO level, I think it's called. And like if you go to like a wing, well, actually, I think like Winking Lizard and Quaker Steak on their menu shows the level of spiciness for each wing flavor, and it's called a SCO level or SCO level. I don't remember which one it is. And if it's pissing you listeners off that I'm not getting it correct, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be like, oh, here's, medium wings, and this is at like 4,000, and then you get up higher, and you're like hot garlic parm, and it's like 6,000, and you get up to like Caribbean jerk, and it's like 18,000, and so forth, and you get up to like the atomic wings, and it's like 50,000. Like that's essentially how it is. So yeah, that SCO level is what the spiciness level is.
Yeah.
So when on the package it said 8,800.
I didn't know that they put that on the package. That's funny.
Yeah, we were looking at it, just trying to dissect everything before getting into it.
I put like a dangerous amount of jalapenos in my, like I'll make like a saute, like a kale thing, like a kale saute with, as a side dish.
Mm-hmm.
And the rawer they are, the more hot it is, but it's never like you can't eat it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I like them on my burgers, or like when I get like
Five Guys,
Moe's or something. Yeah, Five Guys, get on the burgers. If I go to Moe's, I always have them put the raw jalapenos on there.
I like the raw over the pickled. Yeah.
Yeah, same. And some bites, I'm like, whew, that's a hot one, but it's not unbearable. I just keep eating.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy most hot foods, but
yeah, I mean, like especially. The wings, I don't know. I think we have 40. Oh yeah, we talked about that with the fucking Quaker Steak one.
And that's not fun. Like I don't like that.
No, that's not fun. I mean, we were fucking.
When you get like that dry heave hiccup from whatever it is, or you're afraid to.
You're just pouring sweat and snot.
That's not fun.
Yeah, it sucks. What? You're a wing guy, aren't you?
Sure. Yeah.
What? You have a favorite flavor?
I like most places. I like medium garlic, like a hot garlic, or a. There was a garlic ranch that they have at Sidelines over by my house.
Okay.
But so something spicy, but not that.
Yeah.
Fun to eat still.
Right. Yeah. Like my number one is always like hot garlic parm. Like that's always number one go-to. And for the most, most places, it's usually pretty good. And what sucks actually is like there's a bar that I've been going to for years, and they're known for their wings. Okay?
Over here?
Yeah, here in Lakewood. And
does it start with a P?
No.
Do you ever go there?
I'm trying to think of.
Is it Pacers?
Oh, Pacers? Oh, fuck off on Pacers.
Yeah.
I'm glad that place is gone. I got in a
Is
fight
it gone?
Years ago. I got in a fight with the owner on St. Patty's Day years ago. When we lived on Bunts.
This is a face of somebody who's not surprised.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I guess I'll break into that story first.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So this is when we were living on Bunts at St. Patty's Day, and we're like, okay, we always do like these crawls. Let's do Detroit. So we started off on the west end of Detroit, and we're like making our way down. we were all at.
So you're juiced up by the time you get there.
Yeah. So and it's still like early midday, and we were at Deegan's, and we're hanging out there having a drink, because it's on the way. So we're all like, okay, let's go down to Pacers. So and there was probably 20 to 25 of us. We had a huge group, and we're like, all right. So we all start walking down there, and I get down there with like, I don't know, 3 or 4 people, and we go out into the patio, and I start moving all these tables together because the tables are just set for like 4 or 5 people, whatever. Yeah. So we start taking tables and moving them together, and the owner comes out here and he's like, hey, he's like, you can't do that. And I go, I have like 20, 25 people that are on their way. They're actually walking down the street. And he's like, no, you can't do that. And I go, well, we want to hang out here and drink and give you money. He's like, don't do that. And I go, so are we supposed to sit separately? He's like, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, all right. And then he walks back inside. And so then I start moving all the tables back in. And he comes out and yells at me. And then he starts moving them back and having like the waitress pull. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? And then so he goes back inside, and then the entire party shows up. Now, when there's 20 people and then everybody starts grabbing tables and putting them all together, he comes out and he's like, hey, he's like, what do you guys want? Whatever. And I was like, listen, we're only having this beer and we're fucking out of here and we're never coming here again. He's like, why? And I was like, I fucking tried telling you that I have like 30 people here and you're giving me hell just by fucking putting tables in. There's nobody here. Look at all this business I just brought you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And so everyone just had the one beer and we fucking left and never went there ever again. And the place fucking shut down. Not because of that. But they just had shitty food and service and what have yous anyways. So I forget it's called The Forage now, which is like a...
There. See, I think that might have been not long after I moved out of Lakewood was the last time I was there. And I had good experiences because it was always like industry night. It was always hanging out with bartenders that had the night off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's usually, they're way more laid back. They got drink specials.
Right. Yeah, no, it's always been like shitty every time I've been there.
A handful of times.
Yeah, it's like The Forge now, I believe it's called. It's like a nice bar restaurant kind of place. I haven't been in there since I was in there once for a buddy used to bartend there, and I went in just for like a drink.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually ate there.
You got any crazy bartending stories yet?
Yeah, actually. A couple of Saturdays ago, I was covering shift. Normally I work Saturday nights. But I had something going on a Saturday night, so I switched shifts with one of the people I work with.
Yeah.
So I worked 12 to 5, and we open at noon on Saturday and Sundays. And it's the Bucks game I was on at like 3:30 or something like that, 3 o'clock. And it's about, I don't know, 1:30 in the afternoon. And I already have I have probably like 8 or 9 people that are across the bar. And I have these 2 fuckos that come in and they sit at the end of the bar, and the one dude orders a beer, the other one orders a shot, and they're both like kind of lit a little bit. At least the taller guy was. And I'm kind of bullshitting with them a little bit, and then I'm bouncing around back and forth. Someone asked to order some food, like ordering gyros. So as I go back and I start putting the food together to make the gyros, I turn around and the little guy has the big guy like holding his arms around him, like his chest to his back, and they both fucking like tip. And the tall guy smashes his head on the ground, knocks himself out. The little guy also smacks his head on the ground, knocks himself out. But the little guy is like hunched over the big guy that's laying flat. Yeah, so he's like, imagine this like body just like hunched over. So they both knocked each other's out. And I walk over, I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And I was like, you guys have to fucking get up right now.
Or they knocked out?
Yeah, and the little one like sits up for a second. His entire eyebrow was split completely all the way open. And I was like, God damn it. So I went, luckily the owner was like next door because they're doing the renovations. So I went over and I go, yo, those 2 ass dicks at the end of the bar just knocked each other out. And so he comes like rushing in there and he's like, what the fuck? And he starts calling the cops and he's trying to wake up like the big guy. And then the little guy like grabs the big guy. He's like, come on, man. He's like, it's your friend. He's like, they're calling the fucking cops. Like, we have to fucking get out of here. And he's like kind of fumbling around. And the owner's like, yo, he's like, what the hell happened? He's like, I don't know. It just
double knockout.
He's like, it just happened so fast. And all of a sudden, and in the meantime, I'm still trying to like cook these gyros and then kind of going and keeping up with everything. So then the big guy kind of gets up and the owner's like on the phone with the police, and the dude takes his shirt off.
Yes.
And starts like woohooing and like playing like air guitar, like there was fucking like Zeppelin or something playing. But then he comes up and like lifts his hand up at a fist, like he's about to swing down and punch one of my regulars, which is a girl, like, you know, like, and so she like freaks out, and the owner sees it, so he fucking yanks him up, and he's like, don't fucking do this to my, you know, my blah, blah, blah. And then they fucking tussle like into these tables, and they like fall back up against this wall. So the owner's like on top, and he's like, don't fucking move, dude. And then he like puts his hand up, and then he's like, are you fucking serious? He's like, put your fucking hand down before I beat your ass in front of all these people. And the guy's like mumbling shit. So then the little guy comes over, literally knocking all of the chairs, tipping every chair and every table over on the way. Glass is shattering on the ground. And he comes up and he's like, back up, dude. And now I'm over like trying to like make sure this guy doesn't fucking jump on the owner. And the little guy gets right next to the owner, and he's like talking to his buddy. He's like, don't fucking get up, dude. He's like, just fucking sit there. Listen to what he says. And the owner like pushes him back. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, move the fuck back. He's like, stay away from me. And then so then he gets up to try talking to this people, and now everyone's sprawled on both sides of the bar, you know. And then I have like 3 other people calling the cops, and the owner's like, yo, Tony, he's like, make sure this fuckhead doesn't get up. So I'm over there, and I was like, just fucking stay there, dude. I was like, don't fucking get up. And he's trying to talk to the little guy. So I was like, just stay right here. Then I walk back to the kitchen, continue making gyros, and I come back up, and he starts like sitting up. I was like, dude, sit the fuck down. And he starts standing up, and this dude's like fucking 6'7". So I'm like pointing up at him because I'm only like 5'7". Oh yeah, he stood up and goes, sit the fuck down. And then so he like takes a few steps back, sits in the chair. I walk back to the kitchen, start making gyros. I come back over, and I was like, dude, listen, be cool, don't fucking move, let them handle this right now. And then as I go back, start working on gyros, and then he comes back to like around the bar by me. I was like, dude, get the fuck out of here. And the owner comes over and like yanks him up. And he's like trying to get them all calm, and then they both go outside. Both the dudes go outside. So now the owner goes out there, and I start following him through. And one cop car showed up with one cop in it, and we're at the corner of the street. So the shirtless guy goes like one way, and the younger guy's like, no, we're friends. Like, it's cool. I'm not pressing any charges.
He still has no shirt on.
No, yeah. And he's like, I'm not pressing any charges. He's like, it's fine. So we're good here. And then so the owner's like, I'll take this fucking dude. He's like, go chase that kid down. So then he went and chased that kid down, and they got him. And then like I was inside, like everyone was very cool, like helping me pick up tables and chairs, and I swept up all the glass. And then the owner came in and bought everybody around.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what the fuck? It's fucking 1:45 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
and you're
no.
fucking doing this shit?
What's 1:45 a.m. look like? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's like
That's an exciting night.
Yeah, that was afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's a wild time at the bar that I work at a Saturday at 1:45. But what I was saying about the wings for the other place, I had a little tiff with their bartender, and I know this seems like this is becoming a trend.
You keep your shirt on?
I kept my shirt on.
Okay. Next time, take that shirt off.
Right.
Wave it around over your head.
Like a helicopter.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's been going downhill. Like the wings, like usually you'd order just like, hey, I just want these wings. They come out, they're fucking fat and they're saucy, and your mouth's like fucking salivating. The bar, you would walk in, the bar smells like these fucking wings. And everyone would always come up there, and they just did some renovations, and it looks nice inside, but like the food quality shit, you know, like now, like the last handful of times that I've ordered wings, I have to ask for a sauce now. Like they just come out dry. Unless we have one of the bartenders that's working there that we know, we go, hey, can you just make sure that they're saucy? And they're awesome. So I'm with a bunch of people. We're there for the Browns game, and one buddy orders wings, and then she comes over to me and my other buddy that's sitting next to me. We order wings at the same time. So as we're waiting and we're having drinks and stuff, she had to come back and ask the guy sitting next to me what his last name was 3 times. And then so the first guy, his wings come out, and they're really dry, and he goes, oh, excuse me. He's like, can I get some hot sauce? And she's like, sure. She's like, for what? And he's like, oh, for the wings. And she's like, she looks in there and she's like, oh no, there's sauce on there. And he's like, okay. I mean, they're not, but like, can I just have hot sauce?
Yeah.
And she's like, sure. Do you have a tab? And he's like, oh my God, like you're gonna charge me for this. So he tells her. So then finally, like my wings come out, And as soon as before she leaves, I go, "Oh, is there sauce that comes with these?" And she's like, "Oh no, there's sauce on them." And I pick up the wing and I go, "Can you show me where the sauce is?" I'm twirling the wing around back and forth. And she's like, "There's sauce on the wings." She's like, "When you taste it, you eat it, you taste it." And I go, "Listen, honey, I've been going to this bar for 10 years. This is not how the wings come out." And she starts like arguing with me. And then she's like, "Do you want sauce?" And I go, "Are you going to charge me for it?" And she goes, "Normally, yes, but I'll just give it to you." And I go, "Okay, fine. Thank you." I mean, she was being a huge bitch. I'm leaving a lot of the story out. But, and then she goes and then brings the sauce, which she mixed up. I got hot garlic parm. She said she mixed up some medium and some hot. I don't know what the point of that was.
They just changed like everything about their menu or something?
I don't know. And the bartender, like, it's this girl and another girl, and they're both super flighty and dumb, and it's always a shitty experience every time we go up there when they're working. And a lot of the regulars don't go out there anymore. Like, I don't go there really anymore. I've popped in. I don't see anybody there anymore.
Yeah.
And which is a shame, because it was one of our like number one spots. And so then 10 or 15 minutes later, the guy sitting next to me, his wings finally show up, and his are dry to the bone. And he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna eat these." And he's like, "It just makes it less messy to eat, I guess." And I was like, "You're just eating a butter wing. Like, those, you're just gonna taste the butter on the wings. That's it."
They put butter on it?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, usually, like, you know, like the butter with like the hot sauce or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like he got like a medium.
Oh.
So that's more of a butter base, so that way it's not as spicy. And and then my buddy ordered like a rum and coke. It took like 20 minutes, and it wasn't like crazy busy. And there's two bartenders, which they were flip flopping. Like, at one point, one chick would be gone for a half hour, and then she'd come back, and like it was just really weird. And then when he finally got that drink, so then he was waiting. She doesn't come back really, so he goes up to the bar and orders another rum and coke, and they're like, "Okay, we'll bring it over to you." So when she finally brings it over, she brings it without straws or anything, just hands him a glass. And she goes, "Hey, listen, by the way, if I'm not around at the table quick enough, you could just go to the bar and order a drink." Like, so she's purposely trying to be a cunt on the move he just did. He goes, "Yeah, I know. That's what I did." And then so she just like slams the glass down and walks away.
What?
Yeah, so it's like, and you know, I know the owner really well, but I'm not gonna, I could have took pictures and sent it to her, or call and bitch about it. I'm not gonna do that. There's no point.
I would let him know, like, I'm not going here anymore.
Yeah, but like,
that's what I always do. It's like that. I always feel like, fuck, and I don't understand why more people don't. You just vote with your dollars. You know, don't go back. Don't give them another dime.
Right. And you know, you try to do so, but like, sometimes the owners are like, "Well, I don't give a fuck." Like Nunzio's.
Yeah.
They fuck up shit. You know, like, I don't know how many times, and then you go, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, this is how you brought me the pizza? Like, I want a refund or whatever." And they go, "Don't order from here again." Yeah. That's it. Don't hit. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So some places have that mentality, some don't. Yeah. You know.
Well, is Nunzio still there?
Yeah, it's still. Yeah, we still have the one in Lakewood.
I'm thinking of the other one.
The one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. Like, that was the original spot that we were ordering from.
Yeah.
But they opened one in Lakewood like years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to really like their pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. The regular pizza is fine. I just really loved the margarita pizza.
I know you did.
Oh, it was so good. And I've had it a few times over the last like year or two, and it's not as like what it used to be.
No.
But you can't call and just be like, "Hey, this pizza's shit," and they go, "Cool, fuck you."
Yeah.
Don't order it.
They don't go, "I'm sorry, let us replace it."
Yeah.
We'll put you down for a free one next time.
Yeah, nothing like that. No, they don't give a fuck.
That's some bullshit, Tony.
Mm-hmm. What about you? You have any shitty No? Just easy peasy?
I'm that guy, like, I'm a low self-esteem guy. Whatever you bring out to me, I'm going to eat. I just won't come back, you know?
Right. If I'm at a restaurant, I won't, if I'm like, "Oh, I don't want this," and when they're like, "Oh, you know, let me fix it or bring it on," I go, No.
Yeah.
I've seen waiting. Like, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not going to shit in my food.
It kind of makes me nervous when other people at the table are like, "Take this back," or "Give me this new."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's how I feel, too. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Guilty by association.
But I'm also, like, one of those people like that. I'm like, no, I'll never go here again.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I try to tell you, like, this used to be better or whatever, and they don't fix it or they don't care, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll spend my money somewhere else.
Right. And that's, like, part of me wants to, like, mention the experience and shit to her, but, like, I don't know if she'll care, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and we're good, you know, like, and when I first got there on Sunday, like, I saw her immediately. She gave me a hug. She, brought my drink, and we talked for a few minutes, and so I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who cares?
Yeah.
There's other wings out there, Tone.
Yeah.
You got to play. This city's full of bars.
Yeah, but the thing that sucks is, though, I've talked about how awesome the wings. I mean, everybody knows how great the wings are, but I've tussled with Mayor Wirtz and the other two friends that, you remember his roommate Jason?
Yeah.
And then our buddy James that
they're making me look bad.
He's the one that writes their happy endings, for their I almost said Sweet Nothings, for the Plucking Petals podcast.
Yeah.
Like, they have argued with me that Kenilworth has the best wings. And I've gone down there. I'm like, okay, like, it's fair. Let me come down and have wings. And they were good. Like, the one sauce they had, I forget what it's called. I'm sure as I'm discussing it right now, James, Kyle, Jason, if any of you are listening, are probably like saying the name of the flavor out loud. It's like it was Caribbean something, I don't know. But it was actually a really good fucking sauce, and I'll give them that. But I've argued with them about how amazing Rose's wings are, and now I'm gonna have to be like, all right, guys, you win.
Yeah.
Just tuck my wiener in and walk away.
Do you ever get a wings with the dry rub?
Every once in a while, yeah.
You ever get good ones?
Like a Cajun dry rub is usually like the go-to. I think that's what, like, if most places offer a dry rub, that's what it is. Yeah.
There's I don't get it as often. Yeah. I don't get them as often because I've had some that are just bad, but every once in a while you get a good one and you're like, that's good. That's what I wish about, like, you can get like a sampler platter of wings. Like, I want one of every flavor.
Yeah. If it was only so easy.
And you would appreciate that being the sauce boss.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I would love to have a nice little tray of multiple sauces of wings. Yeah. I'm not huge on the dry rubs. Every once in a while, I have a taste for it. Or if I'm with somebody
it's
and
not
they
great
have,
on wings. It's better on other barbecue.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just prefer a saucy wing, And or sometimes I have friends that'll get the Cajun dry rub or whatever, and then we like trade a wing,
Yeah.
But I really want wings now. I'm talking about it.
No, Tony.
I have nowhere to go.
Oh no, Tony, you gotta go to Kenilworth.
Well, I guess.
Let them know. Oh, I listened to a podcast when they had that dude. They had one recently where the dude that wrote all those things was on it. It was a good one.
James?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was that was a handful of episodes back.
Yeah, I'm still 2 behind.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the last episode, or maybe I think I haven't listened to the last one. I'm sorry, Kyle, if you're listening.
I'll get to them.
Yeah, I will as well. I usually listen to them like on my way to and way home from work.
Yeah.
I've tried listening at work. It's just too much chaos. And,
really?
And the phone's ringing, and I can't actually pay attention to what it is.
Yeah.
So the time I get is like a half hour to work and a half hour home. So that's usually when I try to like catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's that. Now we have this awkward silence. I know that we've talked about. I remember like the videos we were talking about, like the old like CKY videos, like shit that like I used to do when I was younger. We were just talking about that recently, and did you like do any like crazy like pranks and shit like to like your friends?
There were a lot of pranks.
Like some like probably pretty big ones.
I don't know. I mean, nothing like dangerous like CKY style.
No. So this is, and I forgot all about this because this became a huge thing. But right after high school, our one friend had his graduation party, and so we were all over there hanging out, and we're like, okay, like, well, let's all fucking go do something. Let's go skate or whatever. We'll go hang out at so-and-so's house. And then he's like, oh, no. He's like, I'm having some friends over, and then we're just going to hang out and watch movies. And we're like, that sounds boring. Like, it's fucking Saturday. Like, let's go fucking do something. And so he decided to stay. And the one friend had an Eagle Talon, which they stopped making in, like, 98 or something like that. And which was a huge deal for them. And so when we were all, like, hanging out at, I think, Mikey's house, and we're trying to think of stuff to go film, and we were pissed off that our friend like wasn't coming and just being a baby, because he would do that from time to time. So we're like, what if we like, I got an idea for a prank. So we went over, and this is all on tape too. This is in that video, but we went over there at nighttime when they were like sleeping, and I got up on the hood of that Talon and pooped on it. I pooped on the hood.
Tony.
Yeah, and then when we put like leftover food and just put it underneath the seat.
Yeah.
And when I wiped my butt, I like wiped it under the handles.
Oh no.
That was a super dick move. But so the next day, he like called us like freaking out. He's like, why would you shit on a fucking 98 Eagle Talon? He's like, they don't even make those cars anymore. It's like, it's not your fucking car. Why are you freaking out? But apparently the one dude's out there just with the hose and just spraying poop off the car. Now I'm much older. I'm like, man, that was a shitty thing to do. No pun intended. But at the time, it was really funny.
Yeah.
We were 18, you know. Side note, if you have any like old memory pranks or anything like that you used to do.
Oh man, I don't know. There was that one. The only ones that stand out are work related ones. That Whiskey Island. There was at Whiskey Island.
I forgot you used to work there.
They're just confused stoner kids I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And one time one kid was just riding the other one so hard that he got off of one of the tow motors, the big lifts, and came down and punched him right in the face.
Jesus.
And then like the next day, the kid that got punched in the face head off. It was just his day off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was coming down to pick up his paycheck, and we're like, "Oh, that's good. We need you to fill out this police report." We did that whole thing,
yeah.
And he was the victim. He got punched in the face, and before he even left his house, he was convinced that he was. That we were like, "Yeah, but you broke Corey's hand
with your face."
Yeah, your face is
fault.
fine. You just got a black eye, but Corey's hand's broken, and for insurance purposes, so that we just drug this whole thing out. And by the time this kid shows up, this poor bastard also rode a moped all the way to work, and he's shaking the entire way. He's freaking out. He's in trouble for getting punched in the face. And then we get there and we keep it going like the whole entire time.
Police are on their way right now.
Yeah. And he's like freaking out. It's like, I didn't do anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, tell that to Corey's hand. You know what I mean? So just stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Just normal workplace stuff, which is, way more. That's all that sticks out in my head, anyways.
Yeah. No, I just thought that was really funny, because we were talking about that. And dude, remember when you pooped on that car? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. And there's a lot of stuff that's in there, the pranks of
You go right to bodily functions, like when Garrison's dad's car was in the driveway.
Yeah,
he peed on the handle.
Yeah. I didn't know. To be fair, I didn't know it was his dad's car. I thought it was some fuckface that was just parking in my driveway. And it just happened right after Garrison sleeping on the neighbor's porch. I'm like, what is happening to my life?
Yeah.
Where did I move to?
And you're feeling like I'm the responsible one. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one here that's responsible.
Yeah, and I'm just pissing on
I
everything.
shouldn't be the responsible one.
Right, exactly.
Nobody should leave me in charge.
He cracks me out sometimes. I mean, I love him. He's like the best roommate I've ever had. Absolutely love the kid. I'll do anything for him. But the other day we were like, there's a bar over here, O'Donnell's. Do you remember O'Donnell's? It's like in that little plaza, with the subway and the washer and dryer place. And I was meeting with Rev Kev and Dan and them up there, and I go, yo, I was like, are you doing anything? And he's like, no. I was like, do you want to come up? We're gonna go up to O'Donnell's. He's like, I don't like that place. And I go, why? He's like, I don't like drinking in plazas, like bars that are in plazas.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. I was like, but what about Third Place? Because he'll go up to Third Place and then just silence, doesn't say anything. And I go, okay, that's that. That's the only conversation. That's it. So then I get dressed and I leave. That's
he doesn't defend himself.
No, he's like, fuck.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay.
Do you remember, this is something fun that's weird. So I always wear hats. And I think, it's I'm from Elyria. I'm a little bit more urban. And I'll wear, I'll rep cities, so I got Cleveland hats,
mm-hmm.
You know? You remember, one of the first few episodes, I was, talking about how I don't like sports. I'm not really a Indians fan.
Right.
And twice I've said that, and two people around you have said something about it. And they're like, what are you doing with that Indians hat on?
Yeah.
So Kyle's one, yeah. Kyle was one, and Garrison was another one. And I just say, instead of me saying, it's is probably I'm more urban than you. I dress a little bit more urban than you, or this is the city I grew up in, so that's all I'm representing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also, what are my other hat options? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I've noticed like 2 people around you have said that. Instead of saying that, I'm just like, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
That's why.
Just being
like,
honest.
I'm okay with being a hypocrite. Like I'm also a shithead. I'm not a fan, but I'm a shit. Like, do you think I'm lying to you? Like, I secretly like the Indians and I don't?
Yeah.
Does this seem like something I would lie to you about? Do I have any interest in that?
Maybe.
I just find it like, and I didn't even like. I remember thinking about it. I think after Kyle said it too, and I was like, oh, people around Tony are just a little bit different than me. Like, they don't get it. You know what I mean? On my level, which I don't blame them. That is kind of silly. Like, if he came out with like a Buffalo Bills jersey, I would think, oh, he's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah.
I guess, but I didn't think of it like that. So I'm just as wrong as them. I just thought it was a funny thing where it's like, why would I fucking lie to you about this? Why would I be a secret Cleveland Indians fan?
Yeah.
But where I was like, well, the first thing, I think I told him, I was like, the first thing you need to know about me is I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just walks away, like, end of conversation.
Yeah, that was it. Just silence. No, like, he was, like, sitting in his room, like, playing on the computer. And, like, when I came over by his door, and that's when I originally invited him. And then as I'm walking back into my room, because I just got out of the shower, so I'm, like, getting dressed and getting ready. And then that's when he's like, I don't like to drink at bars that are in plazas. It's weird. And then I was like, well, that's a weird thing to say.
What about these other bars we go to?
Yeah. I was like, we were just at third place, like, a few weeks ago for the Browns game. And any other time we've ever been there, you never said anything. You've gone up there and visited our friend Jamie, I go, that's a weird thing. He's like, well, what about third place? And he just, nothing. He just continues playing his computer game, just leaves it at that. And I go, all right, I guess that's it then. We're done here.
Let's recreate it only with me with ketchup. All the bullshit I've said about ketchup. So I'm eating ketchup, right? I'm just eating fries, just dipping them in ketchup. And you're like...
Like,
What?
What
are you doing eating that ketchup?
Oh, yeah, okay. It's like, hey, Freddie, what are you doing eating that ketchup?
Oh, yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
But you don't like all that ketchup. You don't like ketchup. You give me shit for ketchup all the time.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Like, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's the least satisfying. Like, you're like, I caught you.
Yeah.
I caught you. And then he doesn't give you the satisfaction of,
nothing.
You were right, I was wrong.
just silence.
Yeah.
And just leaves me with that.
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay, I guess we're done here.
Yeah.
And then I get dressed, and then I leave. That's it.
It's the funniest thing in the world, because normally, like, a person that tells you a lot about him. Like, he's a little bit more mature than us, because he's just like, yeah, this is my life.
Yeah.
And we're like, got you.
Listen.
I got you, dude. And he's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, I just don't want to go fucking drink at the bar.
I'm already moving on.
Yeah.
You want to dwell on this? Go ahead.
Right.
I'm moving on already.
I love the kid.
Yeah.
He's a fucking cartoon, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was saying. Like, if you're bored and just fucking make
this
little comic
Garrison
strips,
cartoon,
and we'll even try. Like, I'll give stories, and you can do whatever you want with them, and we'll call him Harrison.
Yeah.
And whatever. Like, just whenever you're bored. If you're like, hey, give me something, and I'll throw something at you, and then just kind of make a little comic or something out of it, whatever. I think that would be hilarious, and I think especially everybody that knows Garrison would love to like read those or see or whatever.
Oh yeah, I love those type people. He's a unique guy. Like, I've only my interactions with him are limited, but he seems like a unique guy.
Oh yeah,
he's his own person.
Yeah, he's my favorite person.
See, when he dies someday, we're gonna have to find a Jim Carrey to be him.
To be Garrison. I'm already in the middle of writing a script.
Yeah.
Of it's like a best friend like trip kind of thing, and one of the characters is based off of Garrison. Like, there's just too much stuff that he does in real life that people need to like get humor out of it. Like, because I get to see everything.
The funniest humor for me, and I think this is if we're summing up Garrison, is like the quiet humor just for yourself. You know what I mean? Where he's just like, yeah, that's me. That's it's just like a quiet, subtle thing in his life. It's not like the outlandish stuff.
No,
I would rather like that type of humor.
And you're right. He is a super hypocrite too. Like, there's been times that like we agree on a lot of music, like old rock and roll and punk rock and shit like that. But I also listen to like a lot of like the like emo screaming, music and shit like that, which he's always like, dude, that's some pussy ass fag shit. Like, I can't believe you listen to that stuff, and I'm like, well, I like it, like this, there's songs that just really, get me. And there was a time in the last house that I was at work. Kev had just been over like the night before or whatever, over the weekends, and he brought like a backpack full of beer. And he left the backpack there. So I'm at work like a couple days later, and Kev texts me. He goes, "Hey, I forgot my backpack. Can I go by your house and grab it?" And I go, "Well, I'm at work." I was like, "Gary should be home though." And I was like, "Just ring the doorbell." I was like, "If not, I think I left the back door open." So Kev goes over to the house and is knocking. And Gary didn't hear him, I guess. So Kev just goes up into the house and grabs his backpack. But as he's getting up the stairs, he's hearing all this music playing. But as he gets up into like the kitchen and realizes what's going on, it's just fucking Miley Cyrus on blast. Like he's in his room playing computer games with Miley Cyrus on blast. And so like, and Kev goes like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What?" Oh, not like hits like pause, whatever.
No.
Like, "What's going on? What are you doing here?"
That's
like,
funny.
So it's like every time that he like makes fun of me for the music, I'm like, "You're the fucking dummy that's sitting in your room listening to Miley Cyrus on blast." So
How
fuck you.
funny.
You can't say shit to me.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about him.
Well, Mark the Hater, you remember him?
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite people ever because he really, like, that name just fits him so well.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, he would come over and he'd be like, "Here, I burned you some new CDs." You know what I mean? Here's some CDs.
Right.
This is back when that was prevalent.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, this is, some of them are great, some of them are whatever." You didn't argue with him about it because I can't stand that ear beating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you like, he's going to hate.
Right.
Whatever you hate, he's going to like.
Right.
And he'll be like, "This is a great CD, listen to it." And then, like, we'd have a party or there'd be people over and I'd put that on. And he'd be like, "You listen to this shit?" And I'm like, "It's Friday. You gave it to me Tuesday, fuckface." Like, that's why you're Mark the Hater.
Yeah.
Like,
he's going to hate on everything.
whatever
Doesn't matter.
you like.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, he's like his own person.
Yeah.
He'll fight to the death over it.
Even
like,
if he's wrong.
Yeah. Like, if I caught him listening to Miley Cyrus, I'm like, "What's this all about?" He'll fight to the death over it. He'll stand his ground the whole way.
Yeah.
Talk about why this is a good song, why I'm an idiot for not liking
Oh,
this song.
I've asked,
I love that.
I asked her, I'm like, "Dude, you fucking listen to Miley Cyrus?" He goes, "Yeah, she's hot." I go, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." Like, I don't listen to Aerosmith because Steven Tyler was an attractive man. You know, like, that's not how that works. You like the fucking music, just fucking admit it. Only thing you'll get out of him is that she's hot. That's why he listens to the music. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's really funny that you brought up burning
That
CDs.
doesn't make any sense. Do you look at pictures of Adele because she sounds great?
Right. Exactly.
Like, does this go to all senses?
Yeah. When you're talking about the burning CDs.
But my favorite thing is, like, those people that own it. They're like, yeah. And that's why, like, when you say, "I'm a hypocrite," like, it disarms the other person. They're
Yeah.
like, oh
like,
shit.
yeah.
This guy doesn't give a fuck about himself.
No, I don't even need to proceed.
Yeah.
That's actually all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I wanted
Like,
you to
I've
admit
given
to
you
me.
exactly
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah. And you're like, "But I wasn't expecting you to say it, though. I
And,
was waiting for you to argue, and then I could make fun of you and so forth."
Because we're all really, like, when we boil each other down, we're really just like a whole bunch of truths and then a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So as soon as you expose your own lies, people are like, "Oh, no."
Yeah. I don't have anything anymore.
Yeah.
I have no more ammo.
Yeah. If I kept that lie and kept that lie and kept that lie, then we have a fight that goes on forever.
Yeah. When's the last time you burned a CD?
I right now in my car, I have CDs, and what I'm doing is listening to them until I get tired of them and then throwing them away.
I'm just throwing them out the window
Yeah.
while you're driving.
Unless I don't really burn a CD unless it's something that I'm transferring for, like, just information.
Yeah, I just meant like music-wise.
Yeah.
I still have like 2 giant books of CDs, and like I did usually keep them in my car and just kind of flip through, like, just know, that 90s struggle of trying to drive and flipping through pages to find a CD, And then I kind of got tired of that, and I have my player in the car that I use for the music now. But like, so last year, me, Nate, Toomey, and Rev Kev were taking a trip to Chicago, right? And so we're all like planning out like what we're gonna do and all this, and we're like, "Oh, we should make like, like some playlists and shit like that." And I was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "I'll make a bunch of like mix CDs for us to listen to. I'll do some comedy ones and like music ones and shit like that." So they're like, "All right, yeah, fuck yeah, that's cool." So I actually spend all this time, a couple hours, like burning CDs. Like, I'm pulling music off of other CDs, shit that I have on my computer. I'm taking, downloading comedy albums from like Mike Birbiglia and Mitch Hedberg and shit like that. And I'm burning all these CDs. I had probably 10 CDs. I was like, this is a fucking, I don't know, 5-hour trip, you know, so we'll
We
have
should be
enough stuff
covered.
for both ways, you know. So get everything all packed up, and then we head over there to Nate's house. We're like, we'll meet over here, and then he was gonna drive. So we get in there, and we're grabbing the shit from my car and putting it all in Nate's. And so I open up my suitcase, and I pull out this bag that has 10 CDs in it. And I was like, got all the jams, dude, because I'm like, I'll put my suitcase in there. I'll have these to bring in the front seat. He goes, what are those? I go, these are the mixed CDs we were talking about. I made all these for us to listen to. And he starts laughing. He's like, you actually made CDs? And I go, yeah, I said I was making mixed CDs. He's like, I don't have a CD player. I was like, what do you mean you have a CD player? He's like, it's like a 2017 or whatever. I was like, what kind of bullshit is that? He's like, I meant like just make like Spotify playlists and we'll listen to those. I was like, fuck you. I spent all this time making fucking CDs, but then I'm the dummy apparently because no one's heard CDs anymore.
That's funny.
I get it. Who's the goose, fellas?
Yeah.
Me.
You know what's weird is I just started like this in the last year bringing these CDs back in because I'm like, I'm not going to plug in my iPod and put all the stuff back onto my iPod. So I'm like, I'm just going to, I want to throw these CDs away, which I've thrown most of them away already. These are the ones that like are the, you know, these are the greatest hits in my world, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, whenever I want to, I'll throw them away. And it's a small stack, you know?
Right.
But I've discovered, like, I've always hated audiophiles, like people that were into, like, the best sound.
Oh, yeah.
I've always hated them. And then I realized, because I've listened to nothing but MP3s for the last, you know, leading up to that since I've owned an iPod, so 10 years or whatever,
Right.
however long the iPod has existed. The sound that comes out of a CD that you don't burn, because most of those are MP3s
Right.
of like an actual CD.
Like when you would buy in the store.
Yeah, is way different than the sound that comes out of your phone. And it's not just like how you have your phone wired through your stereo. Like I've noticed like a drastic difference. So I bet you now I could tell the difference between a CD and a vinyl. Like, you know how real people, real collectors are into that.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's kind of sad if we lose that quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a quality to even CDs, and then if you go back to vinyl, there's a quality to that I don't want to lose.
No, I mean there's still bands that are making vinyls.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
for those weirdos, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, just for like the
Collectors.
huge collectors and fans and whatnots, which is cool. I mean, I have a whole bunch of like
Yeah.
AFI and Alkaline Trio albums, you know,
Yeah, me
vinyl
too.
stuff, and like, but I mean, that's when I was younger. I was collecting vinyls, you know, like I'd go to record shops and I was fucking, you know, I have like a nice fatty stack of fucking records.
It's still
you know?
kind of fun to play records.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't have a record player anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But like when I moved to California, I gave it to Timmy.
Yeah. That's the other thing. If you're gonna be into the sound of it, then you need a tube record player. You know what I mean? You need an actual something that sounds good. I got a cheap Crosley all-in-one. Like,
yeah.
You know, it even plays tapes on the side. But
I think all my records are in a box at my parents' house.
yeah. Well, I love Neil Young, and he had a book, Waging Heavy Peace, and I felt like a lot of the book he's just pimping this thing that takes like MP3s and turns it into like vinyl quality music. You know, he like invested a whole bunch of his money, and like every other chapter he'd bring up this fucking thing, and I was like, fuck this guy. And then when I started listening to CDs again, I'm like, there's a higher quality to some of this than there is to just a regular MP3 or streaming, whatever file that is.
No, yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, like, actually think back on it. I mean, you're right.
There's a difference. Like I would describe it like you're listening to music versus feeling the music. Like there's something to like feeling the music.
I mean, like overall, I mean, I don't even really think about it at all. Like,
convenience is key when it comes to music. You know?
Exactly. Like, it won't even cross my mind on that. Like, because for the most part, I mean, it still sounds good. Like, it's what you're needing.
Acceptable.
You know? Yeah, it's there. You need it. It's good enough quality that you could turn it up. It sounds good. You could sing along to it. Whatever.
It's all better than most radio.
Right. Exactly.
That's what we're used to too.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Do you have a take on all these alleged sexual assaults, or not sexual assaults, but all the people in the news?
No,
I wanted to hear your take on it.
Oh no, like I don't pay attention to any of that nonsense. You know that. But
I forgot.
But the thing is,
but
the thing is that like like what there's a band that I really like called Brand New.
Oh yeah.
And the singer is Jesse Lacey, and he came out with one of those, like I guess when he was like early 20s, and he was talking with this girl that was like 16 or 15 or something like that, and they would FaceTime, and she would send him nudes, and he's jerked off for her like over Skype or whatever you want to call it, and they didn't have sex or anything until she was like I think like 19, but still like that all happened like a long time ago, and that just came out, so I'm like, man, that's really shitty.
FaceTime existed back then?
Skype, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, I think they said Skype around.
Yeah, it probably did start about then, huh?
I mean, if you think about 10 years ago,
it was probably like webcam style, shitty webcam.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because 10 years ago, what was that one, like, that chat roulette? Do you remember fucking around on that?
Oh, yeah, that's when that started, huh?
Yeah, so before that, I'm sure probably somewhere along those lines before or whatever is when all that happened. I don't remember the exact timeline of when it all happened, but like he was like early 20s, like 23, 24, and she was like 15.
That's not okay.
Like, yeah, no, it's not at all. And I'm like, dude, that really sucks. And so he came out and like, said like, that was a really shitty thing for me to do and taking advantage of the situation and blah, 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 going on about it. I'm like, yeah, that's really fucked up. Now, I don't know what's more fucked up is that I'm still going to listen to the music.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
And I don't support anything that he's done. I don't think it was right by any means whatsoever. It's just, a lot of the music that they've done on those albums have actually helped me out through times that I needed, so like that's always going to be something that's with me. Granted, there's a couple albums that are just complete dog shit, but for the most, like the first 3 albums are just awesome. Like those are buried with memories of my growing up, and times that got me through. So super sucky, but I'm still gonna listen to the music.
Yeah, I always try to I guess it's as I've gotten older, I definitely feel like you have to separate the people from the art, but some of it's hard too, like the Cosby accusations like that came out is like, holy shit.
Oh yeah,
that floored you. Now you just think of Cosby as just a dirty old guy.
Yeah, that's it. It's just forever burned.
Yeah,
that's it.
But the Louis C.K. ones really got me too. Mm-hmm. That was like, god damn. When it's somebody that you really like, you're really bummed out by.
Yeah, that's what it's really like if when they're talking about all these like politicians and what have yous when all that's all coming out, I'm like, I don't even think about it twice.
Right.
Like it doesn't even cross my mind at all. But it's somebody that I idolized growing up, celebrity, musician, actor, whatever. Then I'm like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed you being in my involved in my life one way or another, and now I'm finding out that you're a disgusting pervert.
Yeah.
Always loved Louis C.K. and then he's just fucking jerking off in front of girls,
Yeah. That's his thing. The creepiest part about it was it's just such a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing to want.
Yeah. I want you to watch me masturbate.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't get that at all.
Mm-mm.
I do appreciate that he was the only one that owned it, gave a thorough apology. He gave a very thoughtful apology.
Yeah.
And was I appreciate that about him, but all these other ones, it's weird that now it's this house of cards is crumbling and all these dudes in power are creepy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's kind of how it's always been.
Yeah, I think there's always been creepy fucking dudes. You know what I mean? That's not shocking anybody.
Right.
But what's shocking people is how now you can say some of them are really weird. Like the Matt Lauer one, they fire him within 24 hours. You're like, oh, they got something on you that you're just gonna fold and get out of here. You know what I mean? They must have so much on you. And
think about with Louis, he's got 2 daughters that are teenagers now.
Yeah.
So they're old enough to understand. They see this and as their their dad in the media, and now they have to be like, what?
Yeah.
That's my dad that's jerking off, keeping girls in rooms and jerking off or whatever the case is. That's something that he's got to deal with also, and the kids.
Right.
That's also like another fucked up part about when you're thinking about it, you know?
I think there's also like there's just things like you can't adjust to your celebrity, you know? Like I was talking with Asian Nathan, I was chatting with him online about it, because Conor McGregor, who he loves,
Oh, yeah.
is going like complete bad shit.
I heard
He's just
about
gone
having like
nutty.
the Irish mob after him or
Yeah.
some shit.
And I'm like, I don't think you can go from like nothing to something that fast and not be fucking crazy.
Right.
You got to have like something wrong with you, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it too.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this on like meeting your idols, or you know, like you just really, this case is just don't idolize anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
You know, all these years you're growing up watching them on TV, and they're fucking drugging women and raping them or jerking off or whatever the case is, you know, like.
I thought about that recently too. That's why we idolize the dead. Like we go back over the dead and idolize them and forgive them of some misgivings easier, because we know like they don't. I remember my friend got a tattoo of a band's like logo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you better hope like 5 years from now it doesn't come out that dude's a pedophile.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Can you imagine
I have
like
a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got AFI ones.
Oh,
right here.
yeah. And I remember thinking that, like, you better hope that whatever it is. The thing that got me thinking about it is Patrice O'Neal, the comedian.
Yeah.
They were raising money to do like a big mural of him, and I'm like, that's appropriate. He's prolific enough, you know what I mean? I was like, that's pretty awesome. And then there's some other comedian who's like, oh, this is a better comedian that's alive, still working today. Why don't they put a mural of him? I'm like,
Jesus.
well, that's because we don't know that he's not a pedophile yet.
Yeah. There's still
let's
time
make
to
sure he's
expose.
not a pedophile
Yeah.
before we have to go back over this with white paint.
Yeah.
But there's something to that too, where it's like, well, I always felt like not just don't meet your idols. I always felt like, well, pick better idols. And then now it's like, wow, Louis C.K. is just funny. He's honest. You know what I mean? Like, who would have thought this was coming?
Yeah.
It's so weird. So there's no way to pick better idols even.
Everyone's fucking just turning crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And then what about the stuff with, was it like Charlie Sheen and Corey Haim?
Yeah, I don't know about the Charlie Sheen's involvement or if there's anything to it, but what bothered me about who's the other Corey? Feldman?
Corey Feldman, he's off his fucking rocker as well.
That dude's insane.
Yeah.
So this guy, like, he's making all these accusations and he's saying, I'm going to make a movie about it and I'm going to expose Hollywood. So I just need everybody to give me $10 million.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty convenient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you give me $10 million, I'll make the movie and it'll be a tell-all.
Yeah.
And you're like,
No.
okay, so how fast can you make this movie? Because it seems like the people that did this are still out there doing the same thing. The reason why we want you to speak up is so that this doesn't keep happening to other people.
Right.
So you're saying between now and then, you're okay with whoever are victims of this person being victims?
Right.
When you could stop it right now? Like, he's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, and especially if there's so much shit that he knows about all
Yeah.
these celebrities that he's known and just never said a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
For all of this time. You know, he could have. I mean, and I don't know the full details of the Corey Haim Sheen situation. Of, like,
Right.
Haim was wanting Sheen to fuck him or whatever the case is. I don't know. But, like why now? Like, why didn't you say anything before?
Well,
You know,
he
like-
has said stuff in the past, which like there's this famous Barbara Walters interview where he's like mentioning it, and she's kind of like, she took a lot of shit for like being shrewd about it, you know.
Mhm.
And like, that's the other weird thing about all these things, is that now people go back and dig up anything that you might have said that alludes to this
Right.
creepy thing about you, which makes sense. I mean, that's what we do. But
Yeah. And we
like,
have the
we have
technology
these
to
little
do so.
tells.
Yeah.
That's the Corey one is just stands alone on itself, like by itself.
Yeah.
And he said that for a long time, you know.
Have you seen his band?
Oh God, it's awful.
It's fucking terrible.
Oh God,
Like, what were you thinking?
he's
You know?
the perfect example of like that type of stardom makes you crazy.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, I mean, he started at such a young age. And
Yeah.
he's been in the spotlight his entire life. Except for, like, there was a while that he wasn't doing anything, and then just started making, like, 10 fucking Lost Boy movies.
Yeah.
And that's the only movies that he can do.
Yeah.
So I think he finally realized that and go, well, nobody else wants to have me, and I've already made 10 fucking Lost Boy movies that are all dog shit.
You know
Like-
what's weird is that how much he defends Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Have you heard him like defend Michael
Yeah.
Jackson? He's like, yeah, this all happened to me. Michael Jackson wasn't one of them, which is weird. Or is it repressed memories? You know, you never know.
Yeah.
People have like that's a real thing.
Yeah, and he's a fucking crazy person, so you can't
Yep.
believe anything he's saying. Yeah, so now I just assume that he's like, well, maybe I'll try my hand in music. And he's like, I'm just going to have all these chicks. Oh, God, it's
Like a
so
harem of
bad.
women like that just have to fawn over him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And they're all like wearing like angel wings, I think I remember
Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fucking, what a fucking weirdo.
It is crazy seeing like all these people just called out on this, you know.
Yeah, it's just
It's
weird. that
every
it's like-
day.
it's
Every
every
day.
day, yeah. It's like it started off.
Garrison Keillor, Prairie Home Companion. Like, come on, really?
It's just a fucking domino effect.
And how do you like? There's nothing sexy about that, like sexual harassment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, or whatever it is that like. What you coming onto somebody and them turning you down feels terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, what is it? Oh, somebody also talked about it like this, where they said a lot of these people are very insular, like they can't live a public life, so they have like these, you know, like these desires that they're stuck dealing with them in the only place where they go is work.
Right.
You know, like you can't just go out to a bar and hit on any no-name chick. So you end up at work long hours and you can't be out in public. So this is what happens.
Yeah.
But still, like, you have no self-control.
Yeah, I know.
You just feel like a powerful person, so rules don't really apply to you.
Yeah, and even with like the Matt Lauer, you know, they're like he gave the one chick like a vibrator, like a sex toy, and then asked if he can use it on her. Like that's fucking weird.
It is a weird thing.
Like, it's one thing if you're dating somebody, or
Yeah.
you know you've hooked up a handful of times, and like you guys have talked about, you know, sex toys or whatever. But just be like, oh, I got you this present.
Yeah, can you imagine working with anybody and being like, hey, how about this with you?
Yeah.
What
Like,
the fuck?
yeah. And it's like, oh, hey, I bought you this present. And then she opens it up and there's a dildo in there. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, so is it cool? Like, I'll use it on you. Like, what is she supposed to say? Like, that's fucked up.
You know what's weird is all these accusations and all these different things, it seems like it'll bury you in Hollywood,
Yeah.
right? Politicians, like, are exempt from this.
Yeah.
Like that Roy Moore guy, like his polls went down, now he's back up. Like Donald Trump has all these accusations where he paid people to keep quiet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, Al Franken is the only one that it kind of stuck with, and he's like, no, do an investigation. It's not as bad as everybody thinks. You know what I mean? He's the only politician where it's kind of like stuck a little bit.
Right. You know what also is weird to me is that when they're like, hey, you have to sign this, like, what is that, the confidentiality?
Or an NDA, non-disclosure.
Yeah, one of those. And it's like, okay, you sign it, and then, like, I don't know, I imagine the repercussions if you say something, you get sued, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, like, if someone that's a pervert and it's high up and has you sign one of those, like, if you fucking expose them, and then they're like, well, you signed this, so now I'm going to sue you, who's going to fucking back them up? You know, been like, you're the fucking creep. Like, I'm not going to help you try to sue this person,
Right.
like, because they broke the confidentiality thing. Like that boggles my mind. Like, that's a real thing. Like, I get it, but, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, once you're exposed, dude, like, you're done. Doesn't matter. Like, try to sue me. Like, who the fuck's going to back you up? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I think, well, that's why, like, Harvey Weinstein got away with as much as he did, was because he has the lawyers to drag out a legal war forever.
Mhm.
You know, he has the money. You and I wouldn't have that money.
No.
So for him, he gives you 80 grand and tells you to buzz off. That's better than you going through all of your savings, everything you own
Yeah.
is out the door with lawyers, it's a war of attrition at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and he's going to outlast everybody. He's got more money than anybody that he's attacked.
Right.
So, like, for people to say, like, why haven't they spoken up sooner? It's like they tried to. They went through court. They realized I got to give up because he's going to win. You know, same with Trump. Trump is the same way.
Yeah.
It's like all these people, and not just Trump. I mean, like, on the Clinton side of things, it's definitely happened too. But that's what it boils down to, is that, like, they can keep getting away with this because either you sign that NDA and you walk away with your 80 grand, or you empty your life savings, everything that you have, into this war that you're going to lose.
For no real good outcome. Like, there's no real win for
and people
you.
want to blame the victims and be like, you should have stood up and fought this. It's like, that's an impossible fight.
Yeah.
That's an impossible fight. You know, you can't fight his lawyers. Nobody has the money for that.
Right.
The first time that check doesn't clear for the lawyer, he doesn't show up. So then the case is dropped.
Right.
So it's over with.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
creepy. The powerful people like that can get away for it as long as they have.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's weird.
Yeah. Every day you're like, what? Who is it now?
That's why and we've talked about this. This is why I just stay out of it completely. Like, I don't listen to the radio for the news. I don't read articles. I don't watch the news, because all the shit that's going on, like, doesn't really affect me.
It does.
As selfish that it sounds.
Well,
like,
I envy you in a big
have-
way with that, because I'm a masochist when it comes to it. Like, I have to know the news, and I wallow in it sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, there's other things, like, yesterday they just passed this crazy tax bill, and it's like, this does affect us. It affects us, and it's something that, like, we can control.
Yeah, something like that's different. But I'm talking about, like, you know, with like all this, like, sexual allegations, or Trump and the wall and the Mexicans and, like, just all that shit.
Right.
Where people are like, dude, have you heard about this? I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All this stuff with politicians, no idea. I can really tell you. I can really tell you, like, one or two names. You know, like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, and maybe that's a dumb way to go about it, because I'm, you know, not staying, you know, knowledgeable with what's going on around me. But at the same time, it's like, I have my own shit that I'm dealing with every single day, and my schedule's so fucked up, and I have, you know, like, I barely have time to actually just sit and think of my own thoughts, let alone having to worry what's going on with dumb shit around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. That's just how I am.
I envy people that are like that. Like, that seems like a way better way to live. So I'm not enjoying my life nearly as much, you know?
Yeah.
But I also wish, like, I think there's probably a happiness in between both of us. Like, my buddy Christoph kind of hit it a few years ago. Like, he was like, he's a very political guy. He always keeps up with the news. And, like, a couple years ago, he's like, I got kids, and fuck this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he's like in a good place where he's like, I know what I have to know to make good decisions as a voter, whether it's local or national. And he's like, that's it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing my part. I'm not going to let the rest of it affect me. I'm like, I think so it's somewhere in between you and I, like, where I'm just like worry about things I can't control.
Yeah.
And you, where you don't do anything about things you can. Like, there's probably a happy medium in between the both of us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary times.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you wouldn't know that, and that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hear from you.
I know all about it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You're my news guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Are all your friends like you?
No, I think most of them are probably stay up to date on what's going on.
Yeah.
I think some of them are probably just as, like, naive as I am, you know, like, just, ugh, I don't know, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already worrying about fucking sleeping a couple hours a night, and I got to do this job, then I have to do this afterwards, and then I got to do this. I got to make sure I eat in between somewhere.
Right.
Then I have to go to this job, then go to bed. You know, like, it's just too much of that's going on in my everyday that I don't have time to sit and, you know, like, worry about shit that's going on that, you know,
Yeah.
doesn't affect me. I mean, obviously, I know when there's things that come up that can affect us or myself, and we can, like, vote and try to make a change for things, that's different. Because then I'll have those discussions with friends, and then we can, we talk going from there.
This is like, I'll try to hit you with it in an abstract way. But this is something that really troubles me lately. Is there was a big release of this thing called the Paradise Papers, right?
Okay.
And all it shows is that all these huge corporations don't pay taxes. They take all the money from the United States, they put it offshore. They don't pay taxes, right?
Okay.
And it's proof of this.
All
And
right.
it's barely legal. Like they have loopholes and loopholes and
Like
loopholes.
your favorite porn?
Exactly. Yeah. And they, I didn't say it. No. Right. So the thing that like bothers me is that the American people aren't informed enough about this thing, right?
Right.
And I blame the news, right? I blame the news that the American people aren't informed enough. Like, why aren't we rioting in the streets over this?
Right.
It's enough money to get us out of our national debt. It's enough money for us to go to college, to have health care, right?
Right.
For you and I, who don't, you don't have health insurance.
No.
Me neither. Like, that's enough money if we would hold these companies accountable.
Right.
But, and it's something that would only make our lives better. And we're paying more taxes than Nike, Apple, Facebook.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that should make you mad. And also vote with your dollars. Don't buy Nike or Hurley or Converse or Bauer or what DC shoes. They owned all those.
Yeah.
So, but instead it's the exact opposite. We don't get that news because those news, it's barely covered. It should be a bigger story than it is, but every news station, every media outlet also gets a lot of money from Nike, Apple.
To not fucking say a goddamn thing.
Not just that, to have advertisements.
Yeah.
How many Apple fucking commercials do you see when you watch TV? How many Nike commercials do you see? Every sports has Nike
they're
symbols
just
everywhere.
dropping all this money. Why would we expose them?
Yeah, but that's something that would have a direct impact on guys like you and I.
Yeah.
People like us. People like everyone we know. We don't. Tony, let's face it. We don't know very many high dollar people.
No, we don't.
But that like those type of things like really bum me out because and then they just passed another tax law yesterday and it's like this is gonna kill people like you and I or people that are just starting a family in the lower middle class or upper middle class on down. You know, it's like this is all stuff that like seems like it's preventable if more people were informed. But I don't think that I think most Americans are like you in which they're like, I got 2 jobs. I don't got time to fight against this.
Yeah.
But the reason why you have 2 jobs is because we didn't fight against it for so long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's a weird thing. And it's upsetting. And it only upsets me. And I don't get to do anything about it except for,
rant about it to me.
beat your ear over it for, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm doing any better. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm not doing the Lord's work here.
Right.
I'm just upset about it and bummed out.
No, I mean, I know I get it, and more people should be doing shit like that to be making a cause and fighting for it. But like, you're right. I mean, like so many people are just stuck, in a shitty situation where they're like, well, like as you said, like, I don't have time to do this, and which is all. I'm trying to think of what the word for it is, but like, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that are, fighting for, shit like that
Right.
and trying to help it down. Maybe it's not enough, maybe it's not strong enough, if with all this high bills that are just paying and just, fucking everything off.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I've never been one of those people that are always like, oh, we got to fight for the cause and like having like rallies and shit like that. That's not me. That's cool, if it's gonna help fix the situation that you're fighting for, awesome. I mean, a lot of those times, those fucking people are weird.
Oh yeah,
but like they're fucking maniacs.
They'll make their cause look bad, and their cause is generally probably a good thing.
Right.
They might have the right motivation, but the wrong actions.
Right.
And that's why like little things that like if we can get people to like pay attention to these things, but they make it so hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's what sucks. It's like if you're a factory worker and you got the weekends off, all you do is want to sit on the couch and watch football. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to be informed or do anything like.
And that's what the high ups. That's what they rely on.
Yeah.
They're like, well, people are just going to work their jobs. They're going to go home. They're going to go with their family.
The United States is the best country to be poor in because everybody can afford a big TV.
Yeah.
Everybody can afford a couch. You're not wealthy enough to really like enjoy your life, but you're comfortable enough to not change it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's true. Very true. Yeah.
Look at how broke I am, and I still have a couple nice things.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Yeah.
It's not much, but it's mine.
Yeah.
And it's
And you're like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Not like, well, maybe we should have more.
Yeah. I mean, more seems great, but
there's also
ideally,
an attitude
it doesn't work.
Like I remember, like in my darkest time, like whatever was going on in my life, I remember like people littering bothers me. Just it's littering.
No, it does the same for me too.
And it'll make you irate, but also I think about it, and it's like some of those people that are my friends like have explained it to me where it's like, dude, I didn't ask to be here. I don't give a shit. And I'm like, yeah, nobody invited you here. Nobody invited you here with expectations that you follow all the laws.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody asked you to be here and become an adult and whatever it is. You just have to. So you don't owe anybody anything.
No.
You don't owe anybody time sitting in front of the news or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't owe anybody that.
Yeah, but it's just don't be a fucking shitty person. I mean, it's as easy as that.
Yeah.
Go on about your business and do what you got to do to get to the next day.
Right.
Just don't be a fuckface. Like.
It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, see, I get that. When I see people littering, I get a little piece inside me. I'm like, why? Why are you that much of a piece of shit? The trash can's 20 feet away. You're just going to fucking walk right past it and throw it on the ground?
Yeah.
And that's a dumb thing to be mad about.
It is.
But I'm the same way.
Yeah, I remember driving recently. This kid's throwing everything out of his car. You know what I mean? He's throwing just everything. And I'm like, I want to pull up next to him and give him a dirty look. I'm like, God, that kid didn't ask to be here. Who cares? Just because I'm following a set of rules doesn't mean I should expect him to follow a set of rules.
And that's very irritating when you're actually thinking about it.
Yeah, because part of you
I
is
can't
like,
do a goddamn thing about it.
I don't litter. It's like, good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I do. See this? That's mine. I threw that. It used to be mine. Now it's everybody's. It's a Clark Bar wrapper. Enjoy. If you would like to pick it up and throw it away for me, you can.
Yeah. That's your own business.
Also, I remember I've had this argument with friends because we hang out with the same type of people. There's dirty punk rock kids who don't care. And they're people that, like, their environment's made to be dirty, so they just throw shit on the ground. You know what I mean? And like, they can also defend themselves in saying like, "Oh, you're right. I should put it in this trash can." So then we take that and then we put it into the ground. That's what we do with our trash.
Yeah.
We don't have a great way to handle all this trash. We're all just making trash. It goes into the ground, and we hope nothing bad happens with
trash.
it. Yeah, we take plastic and we make islands out in the ocean out of it.
Yeah.
It's like it's probably better off right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. You outsmarted me.
Yeah.
It's better that we all see how much trash we make instead of just bury it and ruin the environment.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Can't win with you.
No. Some people you just can't.
Hell in a handbasket, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, this is probably gonna be a pretty long episode, which is cool. I mean,
we did take some time off.
Yeah, we took this couple weeks off, so it's good spending a little extra time with you.
Oh, Tony, go on.
Oh.
Tell me more.
I
didn't even call you Sweet Potato.
No, you didn't.
I'll think of a new nickname for you.
So hopefully everybody else is enjoying how long this episode is. And if you were bummed out that you didn't have those 2 weeks, then here's something a little extra for you.
Enjoy yourselves.
I am a little bummed that this game didn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
What I'll do is when we're done here, I'm actually going to run downstairs and see if I do have those, and then we can do it really quick, and then either I edit it in or we'll figure something out, or just have it as a little extra piece.
I'll order some on Amazon. I need like new headphones. I go through headphones so fast.
I don't use headphones for anything.
No? Use them all the time, and they don't last very long.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hate running, so there's no reason for me to have that. So when I'm listening to music, it's at work, it's in my car, or it's like here around the house. So I don't need to have headphones or anything.
It doesn't bother you when you go room to room and you can't hear it anymore?
No, because we have. I mean, like if I'm like cleaning the house, we have one of those giant Bluetooth speakers that I can just turn it up loud enough that I can hear it all the way upstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, so like, and if it's something, if I'm in my room, if I'm like fucking around in there, I could put the podcast on or Spotify, and you know, that's it. You know, like I'm not in any situation that I need to have headphones.
Yeah, I have headphones in 24/7. Like,
yeah.
I'm also like I listen to the news all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like podcasts or news stuff or whatever. I'm like, I can't not hear it from the other room. It drives me crazy. So I just put on my headphones and go about my business.
Yeah. Well, as you guys normally know, you're obviously on YouTube listening to this as of right now. You know, you can go to our Facebook page, like that, get the notifications for new episodes, follow the random stuff that we have, which you're just looking up the... I almost said Plucking Pedals. I'm not 100% today.
Look them up too. They're
yeah,
good dudes.
yeah. You can still look up the Plucking Pedals. Check out their YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. But Sweet Nothings, you know, on Facebook. Same if you want to send us a goofy email, we'll fucking talk about it. I know we mention this all the time. We don't get any emails, so this is really sad. I would just like to come on one episode and just go, hey, Freddie, look what I have. I got some emails. Let's talk about it.
I don't think people send emails anymore.
I have to send emails every day at work.
Yeah.
The fucked up part is when these companies are telling me to fax something over.
What the fuck?
Off.
I'll messenger pigeon it.
Yeah.
How about I'll send you smoke signals?
I'm just going to tie it to my owl and just let it bring it over
fax
to you.
Something over.
I know. Ridiculous.
If you don't want to send an email, leave a comment.
Yeah, which is sweetnothingscleveland@gmail.com. Yeah, if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube page here, you know, ask questions, you want us to talk about something, you want to make fun of us, whatever, we'll talk about it.
And on Instagram, we're sweetnothingscle.
Mm-hmm. And see fun videos and pictures and what have yous of our adventures and shenanigans.
I'll take a picture right now, and I'll put it on the Instagram.
Okay.
That'll be a dirty Tony. Sweet potato.
I'm posing. So yeah, that's it, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. I am going to make an attempt to see if we can get this game going. If not, then we'll try to make sure we're much more prepared for next week's episode. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.